Lauren Agee's mysterious death at the lake is an open and shut case, at least to the sheriff in DeKalb County, Tennessee. But for Lauren's mother, Sherry, the case is still wide open.
What has to happen in order to learn the truth?
Somebody has got to come forward. I think somebody has got to give more details of what happened that night. All I have is 2 little itty-bitty paragraphs on a police report.
To dig out those details, the family hired private investigator Sheila Wysocki.
What was it about this case that made you want to take it?
I looked it over and things didn't add up.
Who do you blame for her death?
I'm not sure exactly who, but I believe that somebody up there hurt her.
The autopsy report says Lauren died from blunt force trauma after a fall off a cliff. That's where she and some friends built a campsite in the sky. But Sheila says she believes Lauren's death is no accident.
I believe something was happening to Lauren and she was either trying to get away or fighting. And that's where her head was hit, blunt force trauma, and I believe that's how she actually died.
Do you think that she hit her head as she was falling or someone hit her in the back of the head?
I believe she went backwards, trying to get away, hit her head, and fell down the ledge. She has bruising on her thighs. Her nose was broken. So there are a lot of injuries that absolutely don't add up to a fall off a cliff into the water. She's got broken fingers, which would be consistent with a fall, but it's also consistent with somebody fighting.
What's the significance of bruising on the thighs?
The significance to me of the bruising on the thighs initially was someone putting their knees on a person holding them down.
Was there anything else on her body or anything else that suggested the possibility of a struggle?
Yes, she was hemorrhaging in her throat. Now, that doesn't mean she was strangled because, her eyes weren't bloodshot. So, but there is hemorrhaging that wasn't listed on the autopsy.
Well, how'd you find it if it wasn't listed?
Because it's in the pictures.
If that's true, then who could have done it? There were several hundred people on the lake for Wakefest, but there are only 3 believed to be the last people to see Lauren alive. Her friend, Hannah Palmer, Hannah's new boyfriend, Aaron Lilly, and Chris Stout.
Is it possible that this happened in daylight? We don't know who's telling the truth, so we can't really know where Lauren really was last seen alive.
We know who's not telling the truth because the stories are changing.
You think they're lying?
I do.
And that's why Sherry filed a wrongful death suit against the 3 in an effort to force them to talk. But there's just one big problem.
When we filed the wrongful death lawsuit, and we have a list of questions, they all pled the 5th. Okay, come on. No. I mean, you plead the 5th. You plead the 5th because you are afraid of incriminating yourself. It's not a hard question. Did you physically touch or harm Lauren?
And according to the PI, someone did make some strange postings on social media about Lauren's death.
A lot of people have been posting comments that are not very nice and quite ugly, and some people have been posting false information. The information is also coming from an IP address in Florida on the same street as Hannah and Aaron.
Coincidence?
I don't think so.
Crime Watch Daily went to Florida for answers.
So, what can you tell me about what happened?
We tracked down Aaron and Hannah to their house in South Florida, where they moved 1 month after Lauren died, and they called the cops on us.
Aaron, Hannah, is there anything that you want to say to Lauren's mom? Can you tell us anything? You were the last people to see Lauren alive.
Aaron, Hannah, and Chris have never been considered suspects or charged in connection with Lauren's death, and a judge dropped Hannah from Sherry's lawsuit. Lauren's family is appealing that decision, but Aaron and Chris are fighting the lawsuit, which is still in litigation. Depositions are scheduled for the first of the year. And now this mom is left in the dark about her daughter's death. Her key question still unanswered. What really happened up on that cliff?
I'm her voice, okay? As her mother, I have to be her voice. And I have to pursue the truth because I owe that to her, right? I'm all she had. And she would expect nothing less from me.
Up next, a legal expert breaks down the wrongful death lawsuit filed by Lauren's family. Plus, could criminal charges be filed soon? That's next.
If you recall in this case, they were traveling back and forth with a canoe. With all due respect, I believe the canoe may be the primary scene of foul play.